element? What is the thing that is missing out for AI to really be used and appreciated by the whole world potentially? So that sounds interesting, right? Let's get started. So, a little bit about who I am. I'm the founder of a company called AI Academy. We specialize in non technical AI trainings. What does it mean? It means that we help people without a technical background understand what is AI and how they can use it in their career. I'm also the author of a book called Zero to AI and the producer and host of a newsletter called Tech Pizza, which is also a podcast and also a video series. It's a fun experiment that I'm running where I try every week to tell people what's going on in tech and make it fun and easy to understand. I've been super lucky in my career to work with some amazing organizations. I've been teaching at Harvard in the US, teaching at ESCP in Europe, University of Monaco, the National Research Council of Italy, and consulting companies like Procter& and Gamble and Merck, Brunello Cucinelli, etc., etc. And here on the left, I had fun writing all the conferences I've been speaking to. If you want to hear more about my story, I'm not going to bother you now with it, but I made a TED talk where I talked about how I got started with artificial intelligence. And you can either scan the QR code to watch it, or you can just look for TEDx Gianluca Mauro, why artificial intelligence is more human than you think. So now let's get started. The first trend I want to talk to you about today is the fact that AI can interpret, in quotes, and write language. So this is a new trend that has been going on for basically 2 years. What I put here on the right is this screenshot of an article from The Guardian that used AI to write an entire article. Now, this sounds pretty crazy, right? But what's even crazier is that this technology is already being used by companies to create amazing products. Let me give you an example. So, first of all, this news article was from September 2020. Okay. So 6 months later, roughly in April 2021, this company came out. It's called conversion.ai. So 6 months later, somebody takes that same technology that allows AI to write. We're going to test it later on. So it's going to be pretty easy for you to understand the power of this technology. But someone takes that and puts that into a product just 6 months later. Okay. Now, that company changed name in the meantime and it's called Jasper now, or Jasper. I guess Jasper, that would be the right way of pronouncing it. And what they do is they help people create content, blog posts, or marketing content 10 times faster using AI. Now, this company just last week announced that they raised $125 million at a $1.5 billion evaluation, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. But what is even crazier is that this took just 2 years. It took them a year and a half, actually, but it took 2 years from the release of that technology to a company implementing it in a product, embedding it into a product, and making all this success. So, what is even better though is what people said about this product. This is a quote from the CEO of Jasper, who said that the reaction from their early customers were visceral. Somebody got tattoos of their logo. Show you a picture later. Somebody else said that their life had been changed forever, and they started making $3.6 million in ARR, which stands for annual recurring revenue, in a 4-day period. So what is crazy about this? By the way, let's look also the picture of the people tattooing the logo of the company on their body. The company was called Conversion AI in the beginning. Then it changed name to Jarvis. Then obviously Marvel sued them, and then they had to change name to Jasper. So that's why somebody tattooed Jarvis, which is kind of funny because now they have the tattoo of a company that doesn't exist anymore. But what I want you to realize is that this technology went from non-existing in like summer of 2020 to suddenly existing September 2020, to somebody's using it 6 months later, to the company that is using it has $150 million of investment, has $46 million of annual recurring revenues, and people are making tattoos on their body of the logo of that company. It's amazing, right? But it all comes down to the fact that there's a new technology available that is super powerful, and somebody found a way to turn that technology into a product that actually solves people problems, which I think is really, really cool. So now, what I want to do with you guys is try some of it. I want you guys to try this technology. And I'm going to do a live demo so you understand what it actually means that AI can write text and can understand text. So we're going to do it live here. We're going to use this technology called GPT-3. So now the playground allows us to write whatever we want here, and AI is going to continue the story. So if I write something like Gianluca was running an AI workshop on YouTube. And if I click submit, AI is going to read this and it's going to continue the text, writing something that makes sense in that context. So as you can see here, it says, I'm not sure when the workshop was, but you can find the videos here, which is, it's possible. It's definitely something that could be written in this context. If I run it again, it says the workshop is called Getting Started with AI, which is also, something that could make sense. Now, the amazing thing is that this feels just funny, feels just something, interesting that you can play with and you can potentially, try to create more content. But it feels like this technology actually understands what we're trying to say. So let's try to make something a little bit more interesting here, okay? Let's say that I want to have a bit longer sentences. And then let's say that I write something like question. What are the best hot vacation destinations in Europe? Actually, let's say the best beach destinations in Europe. And then we say travel assistant. So now what is about to happen is that I'm going to click enter, and this AI algorithm is going to read this thing that I wrote in here, and it's going to basically write some text that will make sense after what I wrote. But as you're going to see, the answer that it gives actually makes sense, right? This is true. These are pretty good, holiday locations. So the model, since these models basically have been created by reading the entire internet, they understood something about language and about the world, and they're capable of understanding our prompts as well as producing outputs that are coherent with our prompts. And we can continue this conversation. We can say, customer, which one would be the cheapest? And then if I click submit, this AI algorithm is going to read everything that we put here, included its previous answer, included my next question, and it's going to generate some text that is coherent with what we're writing here. So let's try. Here we go. There is no definitive answer when it comes to the cheapest beach destination in Europe. However, some popular options include Greece, Bulgaria, and Turkey, which is amazing, by the way. Okay, so this is giving me a coherent answer. But the best thing about this is that this is basically a general tool. Let me try to explain what I mean by general tool. If I write something like, let's say, how do you import an Excel sheet in Python to be read in Python? If I write something like this and I put a hashtag here, which is in programming languages is used, at least in Python, it's used to express a comment. Okay, so no code but a comment, and I click import. This AI is going to understand that what I want, it's code, that I want to generate code that does, that understands, that understands, that loads some data into Python. Now I click cancel because I don't want to have more output. But as you can see, this is code, and I can tell you that this code works. This code actually works. So if I had to run it, this thing would be actually working, which is pretty amazing. Let's do one last test. I want to show you some presets over here. One pretty amazing thing here is summarization. So here in this example, this AI has read this, big chunk of text about Jupiter, and it says summarize for a second grade student. If you click submit, it generates a very easy to understand summarization. And you can do something even better, which is you can say summarize this 6 words. And it should work. Let's see. Here we go. Is it 6 words? I guess we don't have to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be 5, depending on how we count the fifth. Anyway, I hope you understand the power of this tool. So, to me, the most amazing thing here is that this technology, it's a paradigm shift. It really changes the way that we interact with computers because it's giving computers the power of understanding, in quotes. I'll tell you about the quotes later, why I put them. Understanding what we are writing and give us different, outputs that are coherent with what we ask. Now, the reason why I put the quotes is because I call this technology a parrot on steroids. Why? Because this is not actually understanding what we're doing. We're not talking to this thing that doesn't have sentience. Okay, all it has done is read the entire freaking internet, and it's capable of producing an output in text that is coherent based on how humans write language with what we asked before. So there's no sentience here, but the power of this is amazing. It's very, very powerful, as I hope you're realizing. And people are building amazing products with this. So I see there's a few comments here. Somebody's saying that the YouTube link is not working. Is it fixed now? Let me just check this out real quick. I don't want to lose people. I think it's working. Should be working, right? So I hope this is working. I hope everybody can see it. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. By the way, if you have any question on this technology and this kind of stuff, just drop it on YouTube, drop it on LinkedIn, and I'll have someone from my team trying to put it on the chat so I can read it and answer it. Now let's move on, because this was the first trend that I wanted to talk to you about, the fact that AI can understand text. The second trend that I want to talk to you about is the fact that AI can create media instantly for a few cents. So these two pictures over here are two magazine covers from The Economist and from Cosmopolitan. Both of them were designed using artificial intelligence. It's pretty crazy. And I guess you guys have found it on the internet already, this kind of art made using AI. If you have, please write in the comments if you've seen it already and if you think it's cool. But what I want to do with you guys is first explore it a little bit and then try to think together about how this can be turned into a product. So this technology we're going to try today is called Dali, and it basically allows us to generate images of anything. Let's just have fun for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to try to see how this could become a product. Let's say that I want an image of an Italian chef teaching how to cook pasta live on YouTube. I'm doing this because I guess that an Italian AI expert talking about AI live on YouTube was not as entertaining. Okay. So let's do an Italian chef teaching how to cook pasta. Okay. This looks pretty legit, right? We can see some of these pictures. The faces are not perfect, but it's pretty amazing. Now, we can add something else on top here. We can say in the style of Caravaggio. Okay. Famous Italian painter. Let's see how it looks like once we add this. Hopefully, it's going to be cool. Here we go. So this starts to look like, the shadows, the kind of light starts to look like something that Caravaggio would do. And notice how this AI understood a lot of details about what we wanted to do here. It understood that there's a chef. I guess he made it look a little bit Italian, I guess. He understood that this is supposed to be pasta. It doesn't look that great, but it's okay, it's pasta. And he understood if it's live on YouTube, there must be a DSLR camera somewhere that is shooting him. Okay. And understood also the style of Caravaggio. What does that mean to make something that looks like a Caravaggio painting? Which I think is pretty amazing, right? And a lot of this art is pretty nice. We can also do, and I'll show you this real quick, we can do something like this. I can select things that I didn't like, okay? And then I can edit and say how to cook, let's say, pizza live on YouTube in the style of Caravaggio. And this AI is gonna take whatever he has done before and edit it, just the little part that we didn't like, that we specified, to generate, something else that is coherent. Let's see how this is going to look like. And after this, we're going to try to turn that into a product. As you can see, now there's a pizza here. And I think this is olive oil, probably. These are some tomatoes. So the faces are not great usually. But the beauty is that you can, if you like the composition of this image, you can always edit it. You can always say, hey, I don't like this face. It didn't come out really well. And then you can try to generate and you're going to get another face. Or you can use this as a starting point to try to do something better, to try to, maybe edit some things by hand, or maybe, put some your own creativity in there. Let's see how this looks like. And then we're going to look at how this can potentially create a cool product. So this one is already a bit better, I will say. Still not perfect. Probably a good graphic designer could fix it and make it look a bit better. But let's look at like how this could become a product. And this is actually something I've done this week. So I was looking into an apartment and I found a picture of this apartment over here. Okay. Now I struggled imagining how this will look like furnished. Okay. And so what I've done is I've taken this technology over here and I took the eraser and I said, well, here I want to have a red couch, let's say a red leather couch, Scandinavian style. Okay. I don't like leather. Say a red couch, Scandinavian style. Generate. And so let's see what comes up. And for me, this was a lifesaver, by the way, because I don't know how to use Photoshop. So I know how to write. I know AI exists, so I can do stuff like this, right? Which is pretty cool, I think. Okay, so I don't like this one that much. So let me see what other options I have. Okay, this is a small, wow, this is cool, but it's too small, right? This one is very weird. This one is a bit better. Okay, let's go with this one. Okay, I like it. Notice how the shadows are also coherent with the fact that there's a window here. This is amazing, right? And then you can try to say something else. You can try to say here you want to have a small table, wooden table with books and candles on top. And you can see what happens. We're making a very hipster Scandinavian style living room, I guess. But you can see the potential here. You can see how this could potentially become a product that people actually use and makes, people's lives easier and makes potentially also good money. Okay, this is not the style I was going for. But these are, this is just a giant books. This one works, I think. Sorry, this one. I think it's very designer, it's very interesting. It could work. But notice how I didn't have to do anything other than describing what I wanted. So you realize that this completely changes the way that you interact with a computer. Completely. Because it allows people to interact with computers in a completely different way. And you can see how, I hope you're understanding the storyline that I'm having here. With the example of GPT-3, of the text writing AI, I showed you how a new technology sparked innovation on the product side and allowed startups to create amazing products that make a lot of money. And then I showed you a very new technology. This one was released in April this year. It's like 5 months old, 6 months old. And there is potential for amazing companies to be built based on this technology. We haven't seen them yet. We've seen some, but it's still very early. But we're going to see them right away. And I've shown you already some examples. I want to show you also something not live, like real quick, what I've done with a little bit more time. This is what I got. Pretty cool, right? Just decided to add, paintings and bookshelves, a better couch, to be honest. The one that it came out with now was kind of bad. And a nice coffee table here. And I got, maybe proportions are not perfect, but it helped me see how this will look like. And I had to do absolutely nothing, just describe how it looks like. This is a crazy shift. Okay. Let me know if you want me to try anything. Write that in the comments, and I will try to create these pieces of art at the end of the workshop. Okay. So now, these are the first two trends. AI can write and AI can draw. And I want to talk about what do we need to make sure that everyone can benefit from AI. Because like these technologies are cool, but in the end of the day, they are technology. That's it. If we want technology to be useful, we need something more than just the raw technology. And so I believe that we need three things. We need viability, means that it needs to be possible, viable, economically feasible for people to use this. We need regulation. We need to make it safe for companies to implement AI and for people to use it. And then we need education. We need people to be aware that these technologies exist and how to use them in a way that makes sense, that brings results and creates value and is safe for everybody. So let's talk about AI wants to be free, the trend number three, which is basically addressing the problem of viability. So here I put a few images of different things that you probably need some explanation for. So the thing on top is, do you remember GPT-3, the language model that we saw before? Well, Bloom is a big science initiative that basically made that same technology freely available for everybody. It made it open source for everyone to use. So that technology today is free to use. You just need to pay for server costs, which are not entirely free, but they're they're getting there. They're all getting always cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And GPT-3 itself, the technology that I used, dropped the prices in response to all this competition coming by up to basically 66%. So it's becoming always more and more viable to use this technology. And the last thing that I put here is a new technology that came out, because this is not just about these crazy algorithms, it's also about stuff that is a little bit more, let's say, easy, okay, more traditional. There's this new algorithm called Whisper, which basically transcribes speech into text. Now, this algorithm was open sourced September 21st, so like a month ago roughly, by OpenAI. And the interesting thing is that I was paying for another service to transcribe my videos using Whisper. Using something else. And now I want to stop using that service and pay almost nothing thanks to this new technology. So the cost of implementing AI is going down exponentially. And the reason why this is happening is because I imagine there are these two big groups. AI first companies, these are Facebook, Google, DeepMind, Apple, etc., etc. And then there are old, more traditional organizations. This could be McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Nike, companies that may be innovative, but they're not AI first companies. They didn't start their growth with AI. They started doing something else. Okay. AI first companies have an incentive to push as much free stuff as possible out there, because most of these companies monetize not with technology. Google doesn't make a lot of money because they sell you algorithms. They make money because they want you to run these algorithms on their cloud. So they want you to make money in some other they want to make money in some other way, okay? But they're interested in you, in these old traditional organizations, to be enabled to use this technology, because the earlier everybody else buys into AI and starts using it, the earlier, they're gonna start using their cloud services, basically, if that makes sense. So this is the situation. We have AI first companies that are releasing free or almost free tools. And then we have a lot of old traditional organizations. They have a lot of challenges, everybody does, and they're looking for solutions or tools to build solutions. So what I'm noticing is that the traditional companies that embrace AI and they start using these tools, they're the ones that are transforming themselves, and they're the ones that are really creating value for themselves, and they're becoming always better and always more productive, and they're really getting the kind of value that we saw from companies like Jasper. Okay, so these are the companies that are really getting a lot of value, and so that's the output of basically AI becoming always cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and always more and more viable. Okay, so I see there's a lot of questions that are coming up, so let me read. Can you add a moving person in Dali? I think there is AI that creates videos, so I guess it could be possible. So, interesting question. AI generating videos is still a technology that is on the frontier in a way. So it's not 100% ready to be used. Um, but I've seen insane progress. Like, you have to think about this. 6 months ago, this was completely impossible. And right now, I just made a demo of some crazy AI technology that is decorating a room. Like, the speed at which this thing is evolving is insane. Some people came up with AI generating videos. They're not that great right now and a little bit hard to use, but the growth is exponential, which means that they are going to become very easy to use really soon. Okay. Hope that helps. Let's talk about the last point, which is AI being regulated. So these two pictures here are screenshots from the European Union AI Act and the US Blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights. Why is this important? Well, a case study that I often talk about is what happened in the US after they found out that some algorithms that were basically assigning free healthcare to citizens were biased towards Black people. So let's try to understand a little bit better what was going on. They basically found out that the algorithm that needed to assign a risk score to people based on how tough were their health conditions was constantly giving a worse uh, treatment to people of color. So they would basically assign for the same level of health a lower risk to people of color than to white people. And so this is an example, a picture that kind of shows what's going on. Let me try to explain what happens. So on the x-axis, you have the risk score, okay? And on the y-axis, you have some kind of medical scores. So you have hypertension on the left and diabetes on the right. Now, the people of color are the gray line, as you can see, and white people are the black line. So let's suppose that you have the same level of um, diabetes, okay? So let's say something here is like 6.2. Okay, I hope you can see my little mouse over here. So for 6.2, the algorithm will assign a risk score to black people of 43, maybe. But for somebody with, white skin color, it will assign something like 88. The same thing happens also here, like with the uncontrolled blood pressure. People with no, people of color with let's say this is 1.6 maybe, were assigned a risk score of 35. White people with 0.16 got assigned a risk score of maybe 65. So how the hell did this happen? Well, the bias happened because the people who built this algorithm, they wanted to build an algorithm that was predicting health risk, but they trained the algorithm to predict something else. The algorithm was predicting healthcare expense, thinking that in an ideal world, healthcare expense and health risk are 100% correlated. But that is not true when you have, societal biases, like it's the case in all over the world, really. But in this case, we're talking about the United States. So if you look at this graph on the left correlates, basically shows how good was the algorithm at predicting medical expense. And as you can see, the algorithm is basically has the same performance with black or white people. The problem is that the chronic illness and the medical expense don't have um, the same correlation for black and white people. If you look at this graph, basically, for the same level of medical expense, so let's say somebody spends, this is something along maybe $5,000, and you draw a line, you're gonna see that white people are less sick than black people. So basically, white people spend more. This is what the algorithm learned, which is really bad. And so the US AI bill try to fix this. It proposes this concept. It says that automated systems should be developed with consultation from diverse communities, stakeholders, and domain experts to identify concerns, risks, and potential impacts. And this, my friends, is very, very important because I believe that if anyone with some understanding of these biases, who has actually experienced these kind of biases, was in the room when people built an algorithm, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. The problem in this case was that the people who built that technology are probably not very representative of the people that were going to be impacted by this technology. So the people who were building it were, data scientists, which unfortunately most of the time are people that look like me, so white guys. It's sad, but it is how it is right now. There's a big problem of underrepresentation of other communities in the world of data science. But what is going on with this proposal that the United States has made is that they want to make it compulsory, okay, compulsory, to include people with different backgrounds, coming from different minorities, coming with different domain expertises as well, in developing this kind of AI solutions. And I believe that's probably, the best thing of that AI bill. The fact that they want AI to be a team effort, because it has to be a team effort. Okay. It cannot be something that gets developed by a very small group of people, the people who understands how to code. But this also creates a lot of opportunities. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying there's also a lot of opportunities is because basically, if you think about it, AI is where the automotive industry was 150 years ago. What do I mean? So 150 years ago, Carl Benz developed this. This was the first car ever. Okay. Looks funny, but this is the first car ever. But if you think about the automotive industry now, if I ask you, hey, what do you think about the automotive industry? You don't think about this. You think about all these other things. You think about, traffic lights, so regulation. You think about, rental companies. You think about Uber. You think about gas. You think about EVs. You think about tires. You think about driving licenses. And these are all the jobs, by the way, that BMW has. How many of those are in engineering? Beam, just a little 380 outside of, 380 outside of 2021. So the automotive industry started with something technical and then it expanded to embrace all these other things. And the same thing is happening with AI. AI started off as something 100% technical, where just data scientists were involved. And now it's evolving to become something more. It's evolving to become something that includes a lot of different professions, a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of different communities. Now, I hope you understand this shift that is about to happen, but there's one missing link that I believe it's the biggest problem that we have today, and I don't see addressed that much. And that's what makes me wake up in the morning every day, basically, and get to work. And that is education. I think that education is the missing piece right here. Education is what we are missing. So I designed a course called AI Ready. And this course is going to help anybody understand not just what is AI, but how to apply to business challenges. And the reason why I think this is crucial is because if we want to have a broad group of people working on AI, not just data scientists, not just developers, but anyone and everyone working on this kind of technology, then we need to help anyone understand how it works. And that's what I do. So let me tell you about this program for 5 minutes, and then I'll take all the questions that you want about AI, about the program, about anything that you would like to ask me. So this course, AI Ready, works this way. So it's something that can help people who would like to get into AI, but they don't know how to code and they don't want to learn how to code, because there's space for you in AI as well. It helps you if you think that AI is a huge career opportunity, but you don't know where to start your journey. And I get it. AI is such a big field that can feel overwhelming because there's so many things going on. And if you don't know where to start, this course is going to help you create a framework, a mindset that is going to help you get a path, get, step 1, step 2, step 3, and start a career in artificial intelligence. And it's also going to help you if you want to play an active role in this AI revolution that is going on. If you want to be somebody like the CEO of Jasper.ai, if you want to develop the new products that are going to shape the future of society, really. And it works this way. So we start with Lego, Christian Edlund from Lego coming in and giving you a brief on a real business problem that Lego faced. The reason why I invited him is because I want people that participate to this program not just to, hear how AI works and that's it, but I want you guys to apply it right away to real business problems. And I didn't want to invent the business problems, okay? I wanted to get real ones. And that's why I asked Christian, who's the director of data science incubation in Lego, to come and tell you a real story. He's going to give you a real business problem that Lego had. After that, I'm going to teach you a bunch of stuff. This is a not super great picture of me teaching you a bunch of stuff, okay? But I'm going to teach you how to use practical frameworks to develop solutions to problems using AI. And once you have learned all these different things, we're going to apply them together to Lego's challenge. We're going to try to solve that challenge together. So once we've done that, it's going to take 2 weeks, this process of learning and applying that knowledge on Lego's challenge. Christian is going to come back. He's going to listen to your pitch. He's going to listen to your solution. And he's going to show you how Lego solved that business problem. So you learn AI and right away you apply it and get feedback from a professional like Christian, director of data science incubation at Lego, on a real business problem, by the way. So after that, the 4 things you're going to be able to do is deconstruct any AI product and understand how it works. So, AI can feel a little bit mystical. What does it mean AI does X? What does it mean AI does Y? You're going to be able to understand how any AI product works, from a self-driving car to Siri. You're going to be able to design new AI products that solve real business problems, practicing with Lego, and define a strategy to bring these products to life. All of this helping you also be more confident in discussing AI with your peers and with data scientists. Now, the good thing is that there's a 200 euros early bird discount if you want to join AI Ready. This discount ends on Monday. So if you want to join with 200 euros off, you should join now. I think it's an amazing product. It's an amazing program. And people that have done the course before have been super happy with it. Somebody said that this course gave them, from knowing nothing about AI, having a clear blueprint for an AI product. And that's exactly what I want to give everybody else. Okay. So scan the QR code now, or write me later on if you want to have the link, but it's right there. Just scan it with your phone, keep it there, take a look at the landing page, and then I hope that I'm going to see you in class. So now, before we close this, I want to see the questions that we're having now. I give you some time to scan it. And so I have a question from Sergio on YouTube, who said, how about machine learning? Couldn't the AI relearn by itself and reduce these biases itself? Or will it always depend on the biased men who are feeding the AI? So I'm going to do this. So you guys still have the QR code down there, but you can see me. So machine learning is a set of techniques that help computers learn from examples, which means from data. And all the technology that we're seeing today, all of them are based on machine learning. So they all learn from data. Now, a machine learning algorithm is going to be as good as the data it's fed with, not better than that. If you give garbage data to a machine learning algorithm, the machine learning algorithm is going to learn garbage. The biased algorithm in healthcare, the algorithm did its job. It learned from the data that it was fed with, but the data was not the right data. Okay. So the solution in this case is it's really to have people who can design these products, these services, these algorithms in a way that uses the right data points, and they can make sure it can make some sort of sanity check on these data sets to figure out whether there are biases that can potentially be harmful. So I always think that the solution is not really data, it's more people that can find the right data, if that makes sense. Okay. I hope that helped you, Sergio. I hope that was a good answer. If there are no other answers, I'm going to close this live. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm going to leave you with a final message. I want you guys to realize that AI is a tool. And we're living in a moment where this tool is evolving at an insane speed. Really, there's like the kind of stuff that is possible today was not even imaginable 6 months ago. The Dali algorithms and a lot of these things are just like they're mind blowing. So whenever there's big change, there's big opportunities. And if you want to embrace these opportunities, the starting point is with your own education, is with you making that conscious decision of investing in your knowledge and you deciding to understand what's going on. Because just if you understand it, you're going to see opportunities. You're never going to be able to see opportunities if you don't understand what the technology is all about. And that being said, I hope you're going to join my program AI Ready, because I think that's the best way to get started. It's really designed for people. They want to have an impact, really. They want to understand how this works and apply it right away. And I think it's a great program. If you have other questions, you can reach out. Oh, I see there are other questions. I'm studying artificial intelligence as my second degree. My first was international relations. Now I am from Mexico, and thus I've realized we're very much behind other countries. What can be other areas in which developing countries can explore AI thinking? First of all, you should check out an interview that I've done to a girl named Helen. Helen also had a degree in international relations, and she's from Turkey. She studied in Italy, and she took one of my courses, and then she started working for a company called Global AI Hub, which has the mission of basically spreading AI education, kind of what I'm doing as well. So when you say developing countries are behind on artificial intelligence, I want to push back a little bit, because what's behind is the awareness and the understanding. It's really the education that is missing, basically. Because the technology itself, a lot of these technologies are pretty accessible from an economic point of view. The cost is going down exponentially. Really, it's becoming really affordable to use these technologies or to develop them. So what I encourage you to do is to invest in your own education, so that you can be aware of what's going on and you can look at this technology in a way that allows you to find the opportunities for it. Okay. Then if you want to actually develop state-of-the-art algorithms, that's a different conversation. In that case, you do need the right talents. There may not be as present in your country. You need to have investments, etc., etc. But I'm starting from the point of view that the most interesting thing right now is not to develop new algorithms, is to use these algorithms to solve real problems. And you have everything that you need for that, because the tools are getting cheaper. You just need more awareness, more understanding, and more education. So I hope that this helps you, and I hope you're going to join my program AI Ready, which could be a great starting point for you. Okay, if there are no other questions, I will tell you goodbye. I will leave you with the QR code finally, if you want to scan it again. And for any other questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube. My email is gianluca@ai-academy.com. You know what? I'm gonna write it down here so you guys can read it. It's gianluca@ai-academy.com. Here you go. For some reason, it became gray. It's turning white. Here we go. You can write me here. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a good evening.